Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Levi. It is September 30th. This is Drawbridge Finance. It is Tuesday. It's my favorite day of the week because I get to spend some time with you talking about options and investing and just having really like an in-depth conversation about complex things or maybe simplified things. Sometimes simple is the best way. Remember, everything I talk about here is not financial advice in any way, shape, or form. It's just what I'm looking at, what I might do. Let's take a look at who is online. I've got a couple people online, which is fantastic. I'd love for you to say hi. I did put a little poll out today, so check in the chat and click on that link in the poll and let me know how long these live streams should be. I typically run an hour, but maybe I shouldn't be running an hour. Maybe I should be running like 30 minutes or 40 minutes or 50 minutes. Just let me know in the chat what your ideal time frame would be. Now, if you have questions about a specific ticker, it's best to just type them in the YouTube chat. Let me know what you want me to cover. I will take a look. We'll cover anything. If you want to talk about basic option positions like cash secured puts or vertical put spreads, we can talk about bear put spreads. We can talk about jade lizards on earnings, anything like that. There's a fantastic amount of different topics out there. As you guys know, I'm pretty complex, so I run, lots of diagonals. Some of those are really helping me today. You'll see my account today is green. The market is down, and I am still making money over yesterday. This has been a continuing trend. I am up September. I'm up over 12%. In my options trading account. I'd only target 4% a month, but it has been an incredible run this last little while. We've just been putting on just trade after trade after trade of just absolutely killing it. And to trade in a large account with a 12% monthly return is crazy. So, I know that you guys are loving it, and thank you so much for joining me. And I hope you guys are learning stuff about what we're doing. I see Frank is watching 3 times a week, 30 minutes. Laugh out loud. No, an hour is cool. Yeah, I mean, I could do it more often. Is that better? I already do it twice a week. So we have the members only on Thursday, and I have my public stream on Tuesdays. And I feel like that's a good amount for me, but maybe I should be doing them shorter because an hour feels pretty long sometimes. What do I want to do? Let's look at what is going on in the markets, and just going to make sure I'm on the right screen here. We're going to jump over here. I've got TradingView open. We've got, if we take a look here, I've got the NASDAQ 1 minute chart. You can see we're staying kind of in range today. Nothing crazy. On the 30-minute chart, we've been downtrending a little bit. Point of control is above at 24,610. The S&P 500, same sort of thing. We're staying in a very, very tight channel today. And on the 1 day chart, we're having a very, very small pullback. We're just under the point of control. So if we take a look at that point of control, just slightly above where we're trading right now. S&P 500 down 0.16%, NASDAQ down 0.29%, and Russell taking the big hit after a couple days of up moves at 0.76. Let me just switch this view here quickly, and we'll zip over to. Let's just look at this little guy. So this is going to be SPX. We'll look at that, and we can see how we've been trading in this channel where, market's trying to decide what's going to happen. Bank of America said that by end of year, we could have 7,200 on the S&P 500. It's at 6,600 right now. That's like crazy. That's a crazy valuation if we continue to go up. NQ, a challenge, just charging upwards as well. Russell has hit the top of that Bollinger Band, and that is why I use these. This is one of the things that I like to look at. We've talked about this on all these streams. When we see this breakout, we saw this momentum. Is it going to lose momentum when it hits up here? There's potential that it could. Small caps really get helped if the interest rates drop. Dow Jones, we're trading at the top of its channel as well. VIX is at 16.37. This is below the historical average. What we're doing is I'm looking for potential spikes to put on new trades. When the VIX goes above 18, I like to put on new trades. When it's below 16, then I am putting on diagonals. I'm just kind of trading, keeping a little bit of my money set aside for opportunity. I do have a position in US oil. It's down 75 cents today, right into my max profit range, which is between $60 and $63. I'm going to continue to carry that trade over a little bit longer. Gold continuing to push higher. We're up outside of the Bollinger Bands, just absolutely massive moves on gold and silver. I would expect we're going to see some sort of pullback in silver at some point in time here. Apple trading at the top of its range. We've got AMD trading up near its peak. Are we going to see a breakdown in these? If this is really going to be news related, if we're seeing anything here. ARK is outside of its channel, and Adobe trading on this, you're finding some consolidation down at the bottom, definitely near its point of control. We could see an up move in Adobe, but they did have earnings recently, so no major news coming out there. Amazon trading at 218. I've still got a slight bit of short delta, but we are hitting that VWAP right now, so it could be a bounce. We could press through. I would assume we're going to see some support around this 200 level. So if it does come down, it's going to come down into this level. We talked about that before. That's what I'm looking for. That's where my max profit tent is. I've got no risk to the upside, so it can just go up and up and up as much as it wants. I do have some slightly long deltas in my portfolio, but just barely, with some very short duration positions on that are making money on the daily basis, trading some 0 DTE trades that are very easy to construct, and no stress, just roll those out when I need to. What else do we have? Chewy back up to $40. We saw a little bit of a bounce right in the middle of its channel, above its point of control. Definitely, if I was going to play these, I would be looking at call spreads, bearish call spreads above. If I was looking for how to capture this. Hood has had a massive squeeze to the upside. I shouldn't use that word squeeze. Everybody gets upset when I use it. Justin's watching from California. Love it. California? Like Colorado? California? Love it. Let me know if how long you want these live streams to be. I feel like I go an hour. Maybe it's too long. Maybe you guys prefer if they're a little bit shorter. I try to blast through the stuff so we can get to everything. Looking at Google, we're starting to come down inside of this this top. What do we call that? When Google is up. There's AI hype there. Could we see some move to the upside? We could. These are the types of stocks that are going to be driving the market if the market continues to go up, but it's not necessarily going to happen. We've got Meta has come down a little bit, but trading again inside of its range to the upside, upward trend on both of these. Microsoft, same thing. These big companies, there's lots of backing there. MicroStrategy's come down. It's basically a Bitcoin play, so we have to pay attention to the Bitcoin prices. We haven't gotten to that yet, but we're looking at where the stocks are relative to their point of control, their VWAP, and kind of inside of the Bollinger Bands. MSTR, not such a bad play at all for those covered call strategies, things like that, things that generate money off of the potential of it going up. It may not go up, but there's lots of potential that it could go up. So there's lots of money to be made off of those types of strategies where have a capped profit to the upside and a little bit less risk to the downside. Netflix trading inside the top of its range, very much close to its point of control. We have another large node way down here at 960. It's trading at $1,200. So that's a big jump from $1,200. There's a $300 reduction. If there's a move, it's interesting that there's like no volume at VWAP. So when we look at that, there may not be very much support here at all. It could just blast through if it decides to come down. QDTE, these trades are pretty simplistic. They pay out a huge dividend. You can see all these dividends down here at the bottom. So if you're interested in getting Q's exposure, these ones have capped upside, but the payout is big enough that I believe that it's a decent investment. I own some of those myself. They're very simple, just buy, hold. Nothing complex. I love RDTE. If I was picking, I would do RDTE over QDTE, but why not own both? SoFi, boy, that's been a big one, has come way up as of late. We're coming back into that Bollinger Band, but look at that point of control, $14.28. The stock's trading at 26 bucks. I would be interested. Let's take a look at investing.com and see. Let's see what the valuation, the calculated valuation is. Now, I love investing.com. There is a link down below. If you're doing a bunch of trading yourself, this is like one of my first resources. I look at this and I go, it's $26 right now. Fair value 18 bucks. This is 30% downside. Some bullish sentiment here. Very easy. That's all I have to do. I'm a range trader. I'm not doing anything crazy. I just need to know where is the likely range. Fair value $18. What I don't want to do is be buying that stock above 18. So I would come down here and I would look at that and I would say, okay, fair value is down this level. What can I do? Well, there's the stock. I can make money basically as long as I take no upside risk. I can put on trades that make money like down here. Let's take a look at SoFi. Let's see if there's something. I haven't looked at it yet today. I'm going to zip over to Moomoo. I'm going to just type in a ticker here. We're going to go, what are we going to do? We're going to look at the account. Account's doing very well. This is my small account challenge. What can we see here? Can we see the total assets? September so far, 25% return, $1,000 on a $6,000 account. So on the year, I barely started trading this account. 4% last year in 2 weeks, or last month in just 2 weeks. And then September, 25% so far. Been doing pretty well in that. How do we trade these small stocks? So we go to SoFi. Now this is a small account. What can I do for small accounts? Well, first of all, I want to look at options. I can go to the strategy builder and I can take a look at what might make money if there was a downturn. This is October 17th. We can just select the date here. This is so simplified. This is one of the reasons why I promote Moomoo. It's like just super simple. We've got short call spread. $31 max loss, $69 max profit. That's a 200% return on capital, 222% return on capital. Now, the problem is the profitability is only 36%. How can we increase this? Let's take a look at it. Short the 24, long the 25 call. Now, that's calls. Maybe I want to do it. Yeah, the calls are good. The stock's at 26. Maybe one way to do it would be to do the long put spread, buy a put spread. So we'll, very similar setup. Again, 216% return, 37% return probability of profit as this is set up. This is the short 24 and long the 25 put. So let's go to the trade window here. And one thing I don't love, I don't think I can do it. Maybe I can. Yeah, maybe I can. What I want to do is just slide these over a little bit. Can I increase my probability of profit? Can I increase decrease the amount of profit I might make, but put it in a position where I could make some money for very, very low risk or less risk than I might by owning the stock. Probability of profit on this trade, 55.78%. So I already took it from 37 to 55%. This means I have an edge. If the stock were to stay exactly where it is, I'm in the profit zone right here. If it goes down, what's the max profit I can make? My max expiration profit is $43. How much am I risking on this? Well, the risk is max loss of $56. Now, what could go against this trade? Well, one of the things that could happen is the stock could actually go back up, could go above 28 again. And so sometimes what I like to do is just make it a little more complex. Let's see if say if I buy a call. Let's buy a call at like say 27. This is right where my short put is. And then say I sell a call. Now what I'm doing with that is I'm actually putting on a bullish position. So if I sell a call above at like 28, what does this do? Let's just take a look at it. Let's see if there's some interest here. So my max loss on this trade is $89. My max profit is $10.50. This may not be the right thing to do, but by playing with these more complex positions, what I can do is I can actually get myself in a position where I can take some risk to one side, and I can kind of manipulate what's happening. Say there's a surge in the stock price here. This trade has a max loss of $113, has a max profit of $37, has 50% probability of profit. Basically, if the stock drops at all from this level, we can make money. Now, there's other setups we could do too. We could change this around. This one has like a valley of death, right? I've got $112 in max loss. If it did float up into that $27, it's not, that's the bad place for it to be, but it could just shoot back up and be above 28. So we'd have to look back at the chart and say, where could this go? Where's that 28 level? The 28 level is right there. So that trade doesn't really have a very big valley of death. If in the next 17 days, the stock trades there, I could lose up to $113. In this range down here, this is my profit range. So if SoFi continues down, I make $37 for $113 risk. Now, it's very unlikely for me to lose my whole 113. If it was hanging out in this range, if we just get into a choppy consolidation, I would just close it out before expiration. I would get out of the trade if it looked like it was going to trend in here. But if it surges back up, there's not a huge loss that I'm taking at all, because the max loss on that particular trade, if it goes way up, is like $12. So even if it surged up, I would just close the trade right away. It would be very small loss, and I have the potential to make it $37. This is how I'm trying to trade this particular account. Now, we can also do it with diagonals. So let me clear this off, and we're going to take a look at, so we're going to go back to the chain. And remember, we talked about that 18 price, right? Like, what if 17 days from now it's trading down at 18? How much can I get for selling a put down there? Well, we can't get very much. So the cash secured put doesn't make a lot of sense. We're trying to make 5 cents on this. If you were to look at the curve, it just like doesn't make any sense to do that. Max profit, $5.50, max loss 1,794. No, that's not the way. But what we could do is we could look at like some lotto ticket plays. What if we were out here and we were saying, okay, well, we've got $21 and $23. What if we bought that put? I'm going to delete this line off of here. So we did a little bear spread. How much would that cost? Max profit is $180. Max loss is $20. It's only got a 19% probability of profit. But let's look at this curve. It's a huge profit potential there. And that's kind of what was setting up when we were looking at that 25-24. You know, how much do these cost? This one has a max loss of $72, and the wider we go, the more profit there is. The more we slide this over, the deeper the bigger the risk. So depending on what we thought was going to happen, you know, we can adjust where we are. It's really cool to be able to do this. So that is one of the ways to do it. Another thing to do is to see if we can sell a little bit of a bear put spread below. And so let me show you that. I'm going to go back to the table, and I'm going to look down at some of these values and say, well, maybe it's not going to go down to 18. Maybe it's going to stay above 18. What if I bought or sold a bull put spread down there? What would that look like? Let's look at that curve. Well, now all of a sudden I have a potential of making $126 if the stock is between $20.73 and $25.76. I have a total risk on an expiration P&L of 273. This is technically a short delta trade. If you look at that, it actually makes money if the stock goes down today, because the risk is to the upside from the current value. There's a little bit of negative theta decay in here as well. So it's showing right now is slightly positive, but this would be slightly negative as this went on. So something to think about. Building iron condors that aren't quite even can make a lot of sense. If we tighten this up, we can take very little upside risk and have a decent profit expiration. You know, here's the max loss in this trade, $335, max profit $64. If I want to reduce that risk here, I can just adjust these. Amazing, the technology that we have. Here's the stock trading right now. It's right at that level. It could just drop down into this profit tent. And I have been doing this consistently. We see this week after week, have the ability to like put on these trades and let them drift down into the profit tent, because I'm using the data that says, hey, the stock might be overvalued. It may not jump right to 18 right now, but over the next couple of weeks, it could drift down pretty easily and into this profit tent. So this is the type of trade that I might put on for stocks that are moving. This stock dropped $1.44 today. So it's quite a bit. You know, just imagine it does that tomorrow, $1.44 down from $26. We're looking at, you know, another, you know, right here in the 10. Like that's where we would be. So we've been Californicated in Colorado. Yes, I am sure you have. That's awesome. Are you guys having some good weather? I'm still in the pool. I don't even want to close my pool. I know it's getting to that time of year, but we're gonna have to do that. I know that is coming here. WPay, we're gonna take a look at that. What is this? WPay Roundhill. Ooh, Roundhill. I like these weekly paid universal ETF Roundhill products. So last month, $54. Let's look at the dividends on this guy. 51 cents, 51 cents. So this pays out weekly, it looks like. And let's just do some quick math on this. Let's just say we bought this for $54. And where's my calculator? Let's find my calculator. There it is, right above me. So $54. If we were to get, what was it, 51 cents? Dividends. 51 cents, 54 cents. So we don't know what the yield is going to be, but that's what's happened so far. We've had two little payouts, and this does pay weekly. So what happens? Well, in our account, let's assume that we buy $100, 100 shares. So we're going to say 54 times 100 is going to be a $5,400 investment, right? So $5,400 invested. How much money are we going to make from that? Well, if we got 51 cents 4 times a month, times 100, you're going to get $204. So that is divided by 5,400. Pretty simple. 3.7% divided by, well, then let's just times this, but we'll divide it by 4 just because this is weekly. And then we'll times that by 52. You guys follow what I'm doing there? So I'm taking the 0.37% that is expected, that's the percentage, dividing it by 4 weeks, which is what the time frame is, and then timesing it by 52. This will give me an annualized dividend return if it was to pay 51 cents every week. So 49% dividend. So far, that stock, let's just look at the stock. So it came out here, it's not very old, right? Well, we've got September 4th, started trading. It was for $50. It's appreciated to $54. That's another 8% return. So far it has paid a dividend twice over the past month, and it has works out to 3.7%, and then we have an 8% return on capital. That's crazy. Is it crazy? Is it great? Yeah, I like these. I like these stocks. Weekly pay. So if you're like a super lazy investor like I am, I am definitely not glued to the screen right now. You don't see me ever stressed during my live streams. I'm often running in from outside to come in and do these and talk to you guys because I'm trying to enjoy my life. That's what I want to do. I want to collect some dividends. I want to collect some option premium. I want to hang out with my Discord and chat with some very knowledgeable people. So if you're not there, and you should be, headed over there. Go to my Discord, check it out. The links are down below. What else? What else do we have? Look at this. We're already at 24 minutes. No more questions? Let me know. You guys have a couple seconds to get some questions in. Type as fast as you can. Let me know how long these streams should be. 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 20 minutes? Maybe we're already at the max. I've got 10 viewers on right now. But type in some tickers, I'll do some analysis, I'll pull up some trades, and then we will take a look at that. And I'm not going to look at WPay for options because that is not the type of play that we would do options on. Those are just buy and hold investments. They're for buy and hold investors. We just buy that, collect the dividend. I would be reinvesting the dividend. That's what I would do. If I was making a 49% return on capital, cash back to me, I would be putting it back in so I could get some compounding. The compounding return on a 49% annualized dividend is insanely high. So for the stocks that I've been doing that I've been buying up, when you have a stock that like pays out and then I take the entire dividend and I put it back into that stock, and then there's 2% growth plus a 4% dividend per month, you can just imagine. And we can look at that. We can look at account returns anytime. If you guys don't think that we're able to do that, let me just show you some of the accounts that I do like very little in. I'm going to pull this up on my phone. I'll show you the charts here. Like here's the last 3 months. Making sure there's no data on there, but that's the last 3 months in my RSP. So come on, you silly thing. Focus. It's going to show you there. There's the performance, RSP, 14.77%. Now, if you look at the 1 year chart, I did have a drawdown in this account for sure. You know, this was not playing some of these leveraged funds that I play, doing these. I did have a drawdown earlier this year. It was big. Look, I was negative. But 1 year over since last year, 31%. Super simple investing. This is like, that's like my buy and hold, you know? It's so dead simple. I do have some of my AI stock picks in that portfolio as well. I do use a portion of that for that. And we're about to close. I'm going to release the new AI picks tomorrow morning in my Discord. So that's coming up. It's so simple. It's like 25 stocks. I buy and sell about half of them each per month. So I'm going to be selling off about 12 stocks and then buying 12 new ones. And the performance has been crazy. I was actually looking at it this morning. I don't have like a good sheet to share with you, but I can just rattle off some numbers here quickly. If I have that still open. It doesn't look like I do. I don't have that open. Let me just look at my model portfolio. So if we look at these are the picks that I released. So in May, S&P 500 went up 5.9%. My AI stock picks went up 6.5%. So barely beat. In June, SPX went up 4.4%. AI stock picks went up 9.9. In July, SPX went up 0.6. AI stock picks went down 2%. So we did have a loss. August, SPX went up 2.85. AI stock picks went up 7.86. So far in September, unless we have a serious drawdown, SPX change has been about 3.84%, and the gain has been 6.54% in the AI stock pick. So it's been crazy. Since I started that, and I just started it in May. So I'm May, June, July, August, September, 6 months in, it has made over a 25% return on capital. So that has been unbelievable. 6 months, 25% return. It's just like skyrocketing. And this is like utilizing tools, trying to make the simplest types of trades, 1 day of trading a month. I'm going to release those tomorrow in my Discord. So if you're not over there, head over there. You can see those trades in my dividend tier. I should also let you know, I'm going to be doing a change. I haven't announced when yet, but that dividend tier is going to be disappearing. I am going to be revamping my options tier, and that is going to be the only way you're going to be able to get into my private Discord. So if you're thinking about signing up and you've been on the fence about getting into that $22 tier, it will be no longer. I'm going to reduce the price of my options tier down to $97 a month. So that is coming as well. And everybody, of course, in my Discord will get that cheaper rate. You know, that's what I'm trying to do, is give back to the community, reduce my rates, make it a better barrier to entry, or easier barrier to entry. Okay, so we are doing that. That is coming up. Very fallish in Colorado. Yeah, well, I guess you guys have to switch over and get some snow, don't you? EA is delisted. Yeah, didn't they get EA got like some sort of a buyout thing? Let me just go here let me just look at EA. Somebody made an offer. So what's happened here? So I read it briefly. I haven't played EA in a while. What am I trying to do? So, management has been aggressively buying shares. It's been just absolutely up these last couple of days. But what's happened, EA? Somebody share a link with me, please, because I did read the news just in like a thread. I didn't see any like actual articles, but basically there was some sort of offer. Somebody's buying them out. Was it Apple? Somebody big. Nasir says, what stocks do you own like WPay? I made a video, guys, check it out on YouTube. Let me just see if I can pull it up here. I'm gonna just go to I'll put the post right in. I will put it right here in the link. This is probably gonna start playing here. Maybe not. Let's see. I'll put it right here in the chat so you can see it. So click on this link, and you can look at some of the ETFs that I bought earlier this year that are American. Now, from a Canadian perspective, there's quite a few good ETFs. Some of the Canadian ones are actually better than the American ones. They're hard to look up. It's funny. You like look, go to investing, HHIS. Yeah, here's one. So this is like Harvest Diversified High Income Shares ETF. It's 13 bucks Canadian. This is a similar type of thing where we're seeing a monthly dividend, 25 cents, and really consistent dividends, 25 cents per month. And when we look at something like that, the dividend yield's 22.94%. The nice thing about if we're Canadian and we hold this in a margin account or a TFSA, we get the whole dividend. If I was investing in American ones like YPay or QDTE or RDTE or YBTC, any of those, then I would look to put those in my RSP. Those are where I play those. But something like HHIS can be held in a Canadian TFSA or margin account, and then we get the whole payout. And what else is there? Like bank, doesn't even show it here. They're easy to pull up. Like you can buy them. If I was like doing a search here, so it didn't come up on investing.com at all. But if you look at like bank evolved funds right here, $8.68. The dividend is 11 cents per month. The stock has been going up like wild. So, these aren't that old. But the average, like if we were to draw an average line here, let's just zoom out as far as we can. So obviously, going back in time, if we had purchased right at the beginning, not so good. But let's just try to like draw a fake little line on here. Like, what does this look like? What does the mid price look like? What if you were buying this all the time, taking that dividend and trying to buy this? What does that look like? It's not crazy. It is definitely down. There's a 28% down, but this is a fund that pays a dividend fairly consistency of 11 cents and is $8.68. So again, going back to this math on an annualized return, if we were to collect 11 cents times 12, we would get $1.32. We divide that by the current price of $8.68. And this is going to be what, around 12% or something? Yeah, it's even higher than that, 15.2% annualized. If we're dollar cost averaging into that, anybody that's been on this for any amount of time, even from the beginning, has made money because all these dividends reinvested back at these low price, dollar cost average, and now the price has swung up. And these are super, super solid companies. This is Canadian banks, and they're playing slightly leveraged funds to the upside. They've got covered call strategies to generate this income, and they have a bit of cushion. That's why they don't pay out a random dividend amount. So those are the type of things that I like to look at. The dividend just super consistent at 11 cents. EA is just going private. Okay, well, there you go. I know some people that work at EA. I should give them a call because EA has a big office in Vancouver, and we're kind of in that industry where I worked in the movies. People that were in video games. There's like the motion capture thing. There was a bunch of kind of cross pollination. So I should give them a call, see if they all got raises on EA going private. Kind of funny. Nasir says thank you. You guys are welcome. I'm gonna cut it here. I'm gonna say this is it. We're gonna keep it short and sweet today. You guys have been awesome. Remember, if you haven't signed up already for my Discord, you can go over to Discord. You can join the free section, so at least you can like chat with me directly. You can see the free posts. You can post your ideas if you've got trade ideas and you want to talk about it. Head over to patreon.com/drawbridgefinance and you can check that out there. Thank you so much, everybody. Let's get rich together. I will see my patrons on Thursday. Thank you. Take care.